What's up, everybody? Chad Ferguson here, Catfish Edge. Going to talk today all about my thoughts on the 2019 Catfish Conference. So let's get started. So I just got back Sunday from the 2019 Catfish Conference, late Sunday night. Have not been able to get anything together on this all week, but I've had a lot of you guys reaching out to me wanting my comments and feedback about the Catfish Conference. So I just want to kind of go ahead and address all things Catfish Conference in one video. But before I do that, I just want to give a quick thank you and say something to everybody that came to the Catfish Conference, came over to the Whisker Seeker booth to talk to me or stopped me going through the show. And I don't really know any other way to say it, but I just honestly and truly was overwhelmed with the feedback coming from anglers, both guys that are just getting started, people that have been fishing for years, kids, wives, everybody else who came to the Whisker Seeker booth to talk to me. The feedback from people about how long they've been watching my videos and reading my articles, and just how much what I do through Catfish Edge and the stuff that I've done in the past has helped them as catfish anglers. And again, it was overwhelming. I don't hear that stuff a lot of times. It's kind of like working in a bubble sometimes, especially doing videos and things like that. And I also want to say thank you to everybody that came, to the Whisker Seeker Tackle booth to support myself and Whisker Seeker through those products there. That as well, just the feedback was just crazy. The number of people that came to the booth and just said, man, you guys rock. I love all your products. I own everything. People that just made a beeline to the booth to get the new full metal jacket rods, the bait knives, and the other new products. Again, it was just overwhelming the amount of support that is out there, again, for not only myself, but Whisker Seeker and those products out there. And I could go on for 2 hours and talk about it, but let me just say again, thank you so much, everybody, for your support. Thank you for coming to see me. Thank you for coming to see Whisker Seeker Tackle. Thanks for coming to talk to me, and thanks for all of your feedback. I didn't get to see as much of the show as I'd really hoped to. It was crazy. Friday and the majority of the day Saturday until the very, very end of the show, it was just so busy. I couldn't get out of the booth to go do anything, and things were just moving so fast that I couldn't really look around. And it was late Sunday or Sunday morning at the show before I really kind of got to get out there and look around and see what was out there, who was there with displays and what vendors were set up and what products they had. So I didn't get to talk to as many vendors as I'd hoped to, but I did go and try to seek out a few people that I wanted to catch up with just in the limited amount of time that I had available, and was able to make enough of a pass through the show to get a really good idea of what was there and what was on display. So all in all, I think the Catfish Conference was a very well-run event. Steve Douglas and the guys that he worked with putting this event together, they did a really good job. I don't have any complaints, really. I don't think anything like this is ever going to be perfect, especially as it's growing year after year. You have to go into bigger venues. There's all sorts of challenges around that. There's a few things that really stood out to me about the show. And one was the number of people that were there either as a family or as a husband and wife team, or wife, husband, and kids, and just kind of the entire cohesive unit who are all into fishing for catfish. And I see that a lot in, people coming to fish with me and different things that I do across the country. But it was really good to see the husband and wives and the children there at this event, especially the kids. The number of kids that were walking around that show that specifically were there because they wanted to be there, because they asked their parents to bring them, was just mind-blowing. And there were kids that looked like they were anywhere from about 5 or 6 years old, up to some 14, 15, 16-year-old, young men and women, all who had a very specific interest in fishing for catfish. And, they were coming through the booths, they were buying fishing rods, they were picking stuff out. They knew what they were looking for. They were specifically shopping for products. And that right there really, really stood out to me. And, I always stop and talk to the kids. I always cut up with them. I always do everything I can to help them when they're involved with fishing. And, I love to do that because that's the future of this sport. We live in a day and age where we have so many kids who are buried in one of these, doing this all day long, or they're staring at an Xbox and they're not getting out there in the outdoors. And for us to continue these traditions and keep people fishing, we've got to pass that stuff on to future generations, whether it be hunting, fishing, anything else. Without getting those kids involved, it won't continue. And it was great to really see those numbers of kids out there sporting the catfishing shirts and the hats and coming specifically to buy rods and buy tackle and buy all those things because they're into it. And that right there, along with getting more women involved in the sport, is what is going to help to continue to grow and get more people involved in getting out there and fishing for catfish. So when I was able to get out on Sunday and kind of do the rounds and take in as much of the Catfish Conference as quickly as I could, I really just kind of set out to try to make sure that I saw everything that I could possibly see as quickly as I could, and that there wasn't just anything earth-shattering that I wasn't missing while I was there, because I don't get a whole lot of chance to shop around like that and look at different stuff and what's out there. And there was everything there, from kayaks, lots of bait tanks, lots of fishing rods, lots of different terminal tackle, number of different boat companies. Sea Arc was there, as well as several others. Rod holders, I mean, you name it. You really could pretty much run the gauntlet and get most of everything that you would need for catfishing at that show. One company in specific that really caught me off guard at the show was Catfish. Is that the whole name of it? It's Catfish. K-A-T-F-I-S-H. Catfish clothing. I seen a lot of that stuff online, just scrolling through social media and stuff. I've stumbled across their things. I've seen people wearing it, but I had no idea that the number of people wearing the Catfish clothing, the shirts and hats and everything that these guys are producing. And just kind of being in there in the Whisker Seeker booth with people coming through, it really, the more people I had come through, it just kind of, it was crazy. I was like, man, there's a lot of people buying and wearing this stuff. It's crazy. And so I finally was able at one point to get over to the Catfish booth and talk to those guys just a little bit. So I'll go up to the Catfish booth, and I had walked by several times, but man, these guys are crushing it. I mean, they had just an incredible display set up. It was so professional looking. All the hats and t-shirts and everything were all set up and looked so nicely. They had Matt, the guy that owns the company, another guy in there working with him. There were some young ladies in there working, all decked out in the gear that I saw a couple times when I passed by. just all in all, awesome job these guys did on the presentation. They've done a really good job with these products, and the Catfish booth with the KATFISH clothing company. I'll put a link down below. At the Catfish Conference, honestly reminded me of a mini version of the booth that you would have seen for Hook or Yeti or Costa or one of the companies at ICAST. Just out of the park, awesome job with the presentation and the professionalism from those guys. Now, one of the other displays that was set up at the conference that I think has really done a good job, another just kind of standout in the industry right now, is the Cat Masters. These guys, Brian St. Ama, Ty, and Skinny were there at the conference along with some of the wives and Brian's daughter. And I've had a lot of opportunity to catch up with these guys here of recent. They run the Possum Kingdom Cat Masters tournament and have recently announced the Cat Masters tournament at Texoma that they're going to have there, as well as a conference there at Texoma as well in January of 2020. So it's going to be a conference / tournament kind of rolled into one, similar to the Catfish Conference. I think it's great that these guys are trying to do something. I think it's great that these guys are trying to do a conference down south. I think that's going to be a huge draw. People from Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas, New Mexico. Obviously, Texoma is much closer to get to for a show like this Catfish Conference. And then Texoma itself in January is a draw to fish. 121-pound world record blue catfish came out of Texoma. It's been broken several times since then, but it was really one of the first fish to or lakes to really put big blue catfish on the map with different media in recent years, and just an awesome lake to fish. Awesome venues that they're talking to, but these guys are doing a good job, and I'm telling you that they are ones that you need to watch. This tournament at Possum Kingdom has been huge the last couple of years. Huge catfish tournament. They're paying out big money, and a very well run, very professionally run tournament from all the feedback that I've heard. And they're going to go in and try to replicate this at Texoma and do something even bigger and better. And I think these guys are going to really go places, and I think that they are ones to watch in the sport right now, in the tournament world, and just kind of see what's going on. They had a great booth set up. They were registering people there live at the show, promoting their event, trying to get the name out there, get the word out there, doing a lot of raffles and things, trying to raise some money for some different veteran organizations. And just all in all, great group of guys that are really doing a good job with growing a tournament series from the ground up. But I'm going to try to catch up with these guys here in the not too distant future, talk to them a little bit more, and talk a little bit more about the Cat Masters and what they're doing. So all in all, I had an awesome time. It was great catching up with everybody, great meeting lots of new people, catching up with people that I don't get to see very often, and got to catch up with some of the Sea Art Pro team and spend some time with them, and other people in the industry that I don't get to talk to very often face to face. And all in all, I really enjoyed the experience. I enjoyed the show, getting out there and meeting everybody, catching up with all those people watching these videos and interacting online that a lot of you I've never met before. And I think all in all, it was just a great experience, and I definitely plan on going back next year and being a part of the show. And I assume that Whisker Seeker Tackle will as well. I think all in all, it was a great experience. Troy ate a shad, and I'm incredibly disappointed that I didn't get that on video. So Next time I'm at the show, my intent is to film Troy eating shad, and I think maybe we'll have a contest to see maybe who can eat more shad than Troy or something. I don't know. We'll figure something out, but it's out there. We got to do something with this, Troy. If you see this, okay? And I don't know what else to tell you. We're gonna do some sort of shad eating contest, and I'm gonna bring you some Listerine or something for afterwards, because your breath was smelling pretty fishy, buddy. Now, last but not least, there was a young man that I met at this show that was really just an inspiration, and he really, really made an impression on me. I was in the Whisker Seeker booth talking to him and his dad, and Dad starts telling me more about this young man. He's 15 years old now, and the more Dad tells me the story about this young man, the more blown away I am. And the kid really, really impressed me. So much that I wanted to talk to him, do a little interview with him, and tell his story. So I want you to keep an eye out here on my channel, coming up very soon, hopefully within the next few days. But one of the very next videos to be published is going to be the interview that I did with this young man, so I can tell his story about what he's done and all the hard work that he's put in. And I think it's a good testament to what I was talking about earlier with the kids and needing more young people involved in various aspects of this sport, and how we're going to carry the torch and continue things in the future. So thank you very much again for everything and all of your support. Thank you for listening to all of my rambling here about the Catfish Conference. Thank you for supporting me and Whisker Seeker Tackle. Hit that thumbs up button if you like this information.